Hey guys, Crystal Thompson here. We're going to do a live stream using the newest Cheer and Joy release from Simon. I'm so excited to be here. Can't wait to show you what we have in store. I'm just going to wait just a couple minutes here to get everybody online. We are going live 2:30 p.m. here. Hello. Be sure to say hi. I know who's here. I will be doing the best I can with moderating comments and answering any questions. We are doing a one-woman show here with the Simon release. So while we wait, let me show you guys. We have the newest Simon Says stamp. This is an absolutely gorgeous stamp set. This is the Christmas globe. And so you get a globe, and if you get the coordinating dies, you can actually cut it out and create a really fun, this would be a great way to create a shaker. And then let me show you what we're going to be using. The main feature of this tutorial is going to be these guys. So we have these beautiful stencils, and you can actually do some layering. And there's been a lot of inspiration with these. These are really fun, but I wanted to do something easy. And you know me, no die cutting. I want to keep it super simple. Hey, hello, hi, everybody. Anyways, want to keep it super simple when making Christmas cards. So what time is it? 2:32 here. So we're going to get started. All right, so we're going to be using the Winter Floral Layering set of stencils in a set of 4. You're going to be using for the sentiment, the season greetings, or the Merry Christmas. This is from Simon Says. This is the Christmas globe. We're going to be using the Schoolhouse. This is a red cardstock by Simon, and I have cut this one just to be 1/4 of an inch shorter or smaller than my card panel. I like to make all my stuff on card panels and then attach them to the super cheap little foldable card bases because it just makes it a lot easier. We're going to be using the Simon Says Stamp Antique Gold Embossing Powder. And I just love this stuff. And I have it in my little container because it just makes it super easy to put everything in it. Then we're going to be using the Pretty Pink Posh. These are the gold gems, and they kind of have a little diamond, a little gold in the background, and they're absolutely beautiful. And also using the Simon Says Embossing Watermark ink. And for a little bit of embellishment, we're going to be using Distress Oxide along with a water brush. And then for our adhesives, we're going to use foam. And this is a one-sided foam. And I'm going to show you where I get this and how to use it. And then we're using the Tombow Mono liquid glue to attach our embellishments. All right, guys, so this is live. We're going to do the best. The phone is off. And we're going to be quick. And the reason why we're going to be quick is that I have to go get kids in 20 minutes. True story. All right, so we're going to begin by grabbing our season's greetings. And honestly, there's a ton of ways to use that stamp set, but I really wanted to use this for the sentiment. And I'm going to grab my embossing watermark ink. And you can just pick where you want to place your sentiment. I like this left side here, and we're going to stamp it down. And I've been noticing that if I hold it down, it just stamps better. It feels like the cardstock actually adheres the ink and it holds it down. So I'm going to grab my little handy spoon here, left over from a birthday party. And then I'm going to deafen you. I'm going to try not to, but I'm going to grab my Wagner tool gun here. And this is going to heat set. So you can see my flowers. We're going to heat set this, and we're going to do it at the bottom. And look how fun that turned out. All right, so now we're going to move on. We're going to set all this stuff aside, trying to make some room here. And we are going to begin with the layering flowers. So I have the flowers ready to go. And so just think about where you want to place it. So if you angle it, it's going to be a little bit difficult to really figure out where you're going to put the other layering parts. Okay, just making sure I have everything on frame. And then we're going to grab our ink pads. So there's a couple different ways. And the easiest way I think to do it is to actually grab your embossing and just kind of rub it over the open areas of the stencil. And hold your stencil so it doesn't move. Okay, and if you feel like you didn't quite grab it, you can dab down. And then we're going to remove the stencil. And you can see really where you ended up putting all those flowers. So we're going to grab again our embossing powder. And again, this is from Simon's, the Antique Gold. And after the stream, and probably after I come back from getting all the kids, I'm going to link up all the products needed. And I really love using this for a couple of reasons. And one of the reasons is that it allows you to create some dimension without having to die cut anything. I'm pretty limited in the size of my craft room, so I really like to use the most. All right. Oh, we missed the one down here. And if you have an embossing buddy, you could totally go over and use the embossing buddy for this, but we're going to freehand it. All right, I'm going to turn on my gun. Again, cover your ears. Being quick, guys, this is a live stream. You can see how cool it is as that cooks. Okie dokie, so that one's done. And look how fun, super easy, right? Okay, so now we're gonna let that cool just a couple seconds and we're gonna come back, and this one has the berries. And we're gonna repeat the process that we did. We're going to grab our embossing watermark ink, and again, just kind of dabbing down. Don't move your stencil. Hold it down as much as possible. If you're uncomfortable with holding down a stencil, grab a piece of the masking tape, that purple iCraft tape, and hold it down to your surface. Again, we're totally freehanding this. I love doing live tutorials because if I mess up, I can totally show you how we fix it or how we're going to fake it. Okay, we're going to remove that, and we have these cute little berries. So we're going to bring back our embossing. And you will find that because this is kind of wet, it's going to stick. So you really want to flick your cardstock. And if you're finding that it's just not going away, grab a brush and brush it off. You'll see that it brushes off quite easily. All right, and last but not least, we have one down here. I don't know why the heat makes the cardstock stick. You have a scientific reason, please let me know. And then once again, this is going to be the last embossing. So I'm going to come in with my gun and emboss from the bottom. You could emboss from the top if you like. I feel like that makes the powder go away. It blows it off. And it's pretty cool to watch the reveal, right? Okay. So I'm going to put my gun down. It's super hot, so be careful with the tip. I'm going to set some of these things aside. And I made a mess. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to grab our distress oxide and that fired brick, and all this is going to do is add some more dimension to it. So you can totally protect your surface. I'm going to use the back of my foam, and the reason why is this is going to be trash, so we don't have to use any additional paper to mask this. We're going to grab our ink, again, distress oxide and fired brick, and we are going to add some blending on the outer parts of the flowers from the layering set. And all this is going to do is just give it a little bit of color. It's going to allow us to really flicker some of that water. And again, adding some texture and dimension by splattering water. The water is going to react with the distress oxide. And it's just going to look a little bit different. And then we're going to place the whole thing on a piece of clean schoolhouse red cardstock, and it's going to look just super, super pretty. And again, this is an easy way to create some Christmas cards. And if you're just joining us, we are using the Simon Says Stamp Sheer and Joy release. And we're going to splatter. And as you can see, as we splatter, and I'm just using a regular water brush, it's clean. I just, my tip there is a little bit stained. It's going to react with that distress oxide. And the more water you add, the more little water flicker is going to create. And don't worry if you feel like you overdid it. So we're going to kind of really flap this, let it dry. And while it's dry, now we're going to move on to our foam. So let me tell you about this foam. So this foam you can get at any craft store. And so they have and double-sided foam, double-sided adhesive, which means that it has adhesive on both sides. I like to be economical when it comes to my foam. So what I do, I buy the one-sided foam adhesive, so it only has adhesive on the one side. I cut it to the length and width that I need. Very rough, as you can see, not anything clean. And then what I like to do, when my cardstock is dry, I usually use my Tombow permanent adhesive and add some of the glue to the back of it. And then stick the non-sticky part down. I'm going to press that down pretty good. And then I'm going to remove the backing. And now you have a really solid piece of foam. And you could totally use the roll foam. And I really like that, but I feel like it kind of leaves like a bubble. So that's why I like to use a foam sheet. All right, we're going to center this. And I'm going to tell you what, right now, centering is not my forte. And so by adding it and putting it on the center of, or putting it on a clean piece of cardstock, it just really cleans the whole thing up. So you can grab a little baby wipe and clean off some of the excess distress oxide from the flowers and really allow these flowers to really pop up. But that is still drying, so I'm not going to do that because I don't want it to interact with the water that is still drying. So while we wait for those to dry, I have my Pretty Pink Posh crystals or jewels, and you can grab these from several different brands. We got them from Pretty Pink Posh, we got them from Studio Katia. And then we're going to add these by adding some of the Tombow Mono liquid. And I'm going to add droplets. And the reason I like to add the droplets of glue, it kind of makes them stickier. It allows me to see where I'm placing everything. All right, so now we have our droplets of glue. Now we're going to grab our Crystal Katana, which has a wax tip. And instead of buying a bunch of different tips, I kind of just scrub off the top and it makes them sticky again. So if you don't have a sequin crystal picker up tool, you can use a Crayola or any real quality wax crayon. And what that does, again, it's a wax and you can just kind of scrape off the top and it removes that dry part of it and it allows you to use it as a sequin pickup tool. I haven't tried it with die cuts. I know you can pick up die cuts with this. I haven't tried the crayon with the die cuts with the itty bitty pieces, but I'm sure it would probably work just as well. And again, at the end of the video, I will tag all the products that I used. And see how sticky that is? We'll grab that. It's not gonna do it. Oh my goodness, lives, right? And we're gonna add that right there. And now we have, and just make sure all my little diamonds are facing up. And I am full of embossing, but let me show you what that ended up. And so the one on the picture on the thumbnail is actually the blue version of it, but it's the same card, same products, just a little slightly different. And you know what? It's not super clean from embossing, but it's just a really pretty way to use your newest stencils that you get from Simon. Well, guys, that's it. I was serious. What was that? 10 minutes, I believe, for this tutorial. Crystal Thompson here for Simon Says with the Sheer and Joy newest release. Thank you so much for joining me. Have an amazing day, guys. See you later.